Yeah. All right. So speaking of canceled, next one is R. Kelly got his sentencing,
Finally.
and what I want to talk about, it's not so much with the horrible things R. Kelly is convicted of. It's more about separating the creation from the creator. So of course people are like, we can't listen to R. Kelly's music anymore, because he made it. But those songs were great when they came out. Y'all were jamming to them then, and the songs haven't changed. The product hasn't changed at all. So is it possible to separate the creator from the creation?
I don't think so.
But why not though?
Me and my sister had this talk because she's a big R. Kelly fan. She's
Yeah.
huge R. Kelly fan. And we grew up on R. Kelly, listened to it, but she said, she said, ever since all of this came out, she said, listened to his music under a different lens now.
Why?
Like, she said some of his music, it now that she's like put it in perspective of like some of his music is geared towards what he did.
See,
Like you're chasing little girls. So like
yeah,
when most
and
women,
that
when they were
good.
listening to the music, they think that there is coming like for instance, like my sister used to, I love R. Kelly, he's so sexy, this and that. She was like, I thought he was singing to me. She was like, but knowing now that what he does is like, he's not trying to serenade no woman. He's trying to serenade a little girl. And that's the
All right.
lens she said that she listens to the music now. So it just kind of disgusts her.
All right, so my thought process is on this. Like when I sing along to R. Kelly, I know who I'm singing to is grown women. It's not little girl. Well, I just mean so I apply the music to what's in my life, and necessarily where the mind of was for the artist. And if that's the case, I guess my issue with that is this: there are so many products and services that we use on a daily basis that were made by bad people. And in terms of artists, I mean, there are so many artists that have done similar things to R. Kelly, and they're not canceled. I mean, look at Elvis Presley and Jerry Lewis, like even like all the people that you know married 15-year-olds and stuff like that, and they're not canceled. Even think
I
about
think
how bad Harvey Weinstein stuff is, right? We still watching movies he produced, like Scary Movie that was produced by the Weinstein brothers.
I don't watch scary movies, but I see what you're
But
saying.
you see what I'm saying? Like there's tons of other ones. There's tons of movies that he produced that
I understand,
still
but
watching.
like what I'm saying is that there is a psychological connection with the song and how people are interpreting it now, knowing where it seems like his mind was at the time of making this, where you're talking about a scary movie that has nothing to do about you know marrying or being with little kids. So whenever you're listening to some of his music that, even some people have come out and said that, oh, he wrote this song for Aaliyah. Like, and it's like, okay,
Yeah,
you're writing this for her at the age of what,
15.
15?
It was 15.
So it's
After
like,
that,
people are making those two connections with that. And I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that it's right, but I can get where you're saying it's like, this song was made for you to serenade a little girl. Where, I mean, I get it. I don't look at it in that light. I just personally am just completely disgusted by him, especially listening to
Yeah,
a
him as a
lot of
person.
what
Yeah,
he did.
yeah,
I'm just disgusted by him.
yeah,
so
him as a person.
I want to say, first of all, Zoom is telling me that we have 6 minutes or it's going to cut us off.
Okay.
So it does. Brandon, you can restart us.
We could. I mean, if you want to continue going, I know that Alicia got to go a little bit. We can either cut the podcast short or we can start it back up. I don't know.
Or we could just, I mean, that's fine to start it back up.
Yeah, just make sure we're done by 10:30.
Yeah.
Now, as far as R. Kelly goes, I have mixed feelings about it. On one hand, I feel like some of these songs we have already have an emotional connection to. We've already established that we like them. We've had weddings, we've had funerals, we've had graduations to these songs. So we have emotional connection to some of these songs. However, in the same sense, I also feel like, dang, why everybody so dang? I mean, his music is amazing, but I feel like it's a little bit thirsty too, to where this man is literally beating on, defecating on, urinating on, impregnating young girls, and people still can't be like, some of that music I don't want to hear. Like, why is it so I feel like there's a little bit of thirst to that I don't like. For me, I don't want to hear the sex songs from him no more. I'm cool. I Believe I Can Fly got his place or whatever. And, remix to Ignition or whatever. Some of them ones got their place in my memory banks, but for the most part, the majority of them songs, especially the sex ones, I don't need that from him because it takes my mind off the mood anyway. Don't nobody want to hear. I don't know. I just find it to be just a tad bit thirsty that you down for what he's done that bad that you can't.
No, I see. I think you get this.
Not you specifically. Yeah. I'm just saying I have feelings about it. Like when people like doubling down on like, I don't care. I'm proud. I'm listening to that. Like, okay.
Yeah. Because I don't think it's in support of what he's done. They're like, whatever he did doesn't affect me. Like, but this song, I mean, stuff like Ain't Nothing But a Number. Yeah, Ain't Nothing But a Number by Aaliyah. Okay, yeah, that's more on the nose about it. But there's tons there's the 12 Play album.
But listen to what listen. I heard 12 Play was named 12 Play because Aaliyah was 12 when he met her. Now I don't know if that's true.
It's called 12 Play because there's 12 tracks on the album.
Yeah, Brandon, he has a logical explanation for everything he was doing.
Yeah. Why am I going?
And a more sinister explanation for things he was doing as well. He called himself the Pied Piper. Why? Because when he plays music, everybody gets in a trance and they follow him. He also called himself the Pied Piper because young kids follow him and they get destroyed or whatever.
Okay, but I'm not going down that path with him on that.
Yeah, but some people are. So I don't know. I got mixed feelings. It sounds like you're
trying to defend Brandon. Are you trying to defend him?
I'm not defending him. I said I'm not going down that path with him.
So are you defending his music?
I am separating the creation from the creator because if I went based off of.
But I'm looking at it as his whole music career was centered and circled around young girls. Like he had a whole music camp set up to lure and young girls to his music camp.
Yeah, and his personal life.
You were all about trying to find talent of young girls that you would bring from all over the place to come to kind of recruit them for him.
Yeah, and so his personal life though, but that's not on.
How do you separate the two?
How do I separate them? Because one, that's what he does in his personal time.
But he wasn't doing it in his personal time. He was doing it all the time.
Yeah, all the time. It wasn't on the album. It's not
I don't know. I guess I just feel like if it's, I don't know. I guess I do expect people to listen differently.
Mm-hmm.
And that don't mean you got to cancel every song. That don't mean you got to completely cancel all content, because he made songs for a lot of people, and he
that too. Where do you draw the line?
He was a musical genius, but he was a musical genius, and he made songs for a lot of people and even for himself. It's saying less than a minute, but I do feel like with all that has been said, a person might want to listen differently, because, like you said, like with Weinstein, some of what he created, the creations had nothing to do with the things he was doing behind closed doors. Cosby, there was a separation. This man is literally creating songs from his pedophilia experiences, and he's saying it. He ain't even, it's not even covered. So I feel a little weird about those who might not want to listen different.
Right.
I ain't saying cancel.
You know what? I think for me, and same thing happened with Cosby. Like I'm actually upset that this is reality. Like I was enjoying being a fan of these people, and then this shit, I'm like,
all right, you might know why you're disappointed.
So part 2 with the R. Kelly.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. Yeah, I'm disappointed mostly because this is what reality is. Like, and like R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, you know, I was huge fans of both of them. And then now there's this huge cloud and tainted stuff for their stuff. And like, it's like I'm not allowed to like it no more, or it's a problem. Like it's just I'm disappointed with everything. The whole thing I'm upset about.
It's definitely disappointing for sure. Like I said,
I grew up listening to Bill Cosby.
I just feel like people should listen. I feel like people should want to listen differently, if not at all. That's how I feel about it. Personally, there's certain, so that means the sex songs, I don't even want to hear it no more. I'm cool. It's other ones that are great if we just got to listen to them.
I don't want to listen differently because I don't want it to be real. I don't want it to be real like that.
Denial.
Yeah, like I really don't want it to be the case. And I know that it is, but I don't want it to be. Cause I know you have his probably more connection to his inspirational music or whatever is, World's Greatest and songs about his mom and
all of it. I had
all of it.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
You know I'm a music head too.
I know, man. All the albums, when you got public announcement and stuff, like all of them it was what my dad played all the time, and it was just, cool, R. Kelly. Like he didn't even like R. Kelly until Honey Love came out.
Selena Johnson stated that she thinks that he shouldn't even be locked up. He needs to be in an insane asylum. And I'm with her. What y'all think about that? I'm with her on that.
He definitely has been. I think
he needs to be recently in a mental institution, yes, because I think he needs a lot of therapy, and I also think that he needs some first off some psych evals done, because I think he suffers from different disorders, which I mean I can name a whole bunch, but
the first
I see. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that like jail's not going to do nothing for him. It will never change him. It's not going to change him. I mean, I understand he'll be in there for the rest of his natural life, but I think that like even if he wasn't, he is just not going to be a changed person. He's going to be who he is.
He could be doing the same thing right there in jail, because he still has clout. He still has people that refuse to cancel him or whatever. So he might be in jail carrying out the same actions in ways.
I like the mental facility option because I don't know if y'all remember, but the first episode of Surviving R. Kelly was about his childhood and how fucked up it was. So he's a hurt person who hurt people, and that's normally how it goes. And he didn't deal with it except for with music, and yeah, he's never had that healing, growing. He hasn't had the psyche valve done.
He literally became a monster. They created and enabled a monster.
Yeah.
He's in jail right now, about to out a whole bunch of people.
Yo, the snitch list. Excuse me, I'm telling everybody. He did a whole Nino Brown. Like,
I don't know if he has done it yet, but that's what they're saying he's gonna do.
he about
Which
to do it.
says a whole lot, because that means he's been sitting. Pedophilia and incest and these sexual deviances is a regular, everyday, normal part of life for him.
Well, not just him. He's saying this for Hollywood.
Well, yeah, for Hollywood.
Men
but
with
what
power,
I was saying is,
money,
I'm saying not
influence.
just for him. I'm saying that he knew about all these people. The only reason why he's saying something now is just so he can lessen his sentence. It's not because he deems what he did to be wrong in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
This is embedded in him.
But, once all this stuff comes out, pretty soon it's going to be, we can't be a fan of anything. Because somebody connected to every single Hollywood big project is gonna have something messed up about it. Something real fucked up.
You know what's crazy though, and this is what kills me. Okay, so they will cancel, which I see they'll cancel black men in a minute. But like when I was watching the documentary on Epstein,
yeah,
it's almost like, oh well, these are grown women and they know what they were doing. What? Or and I was like, wow.
I've had those conversations too, and
same with the whole like Bill Cosby and even like Trump. Like whenever he was running for president, it was like, him and the mayor of New York when they wanted him to resign. And it's like, because somebody came out and said that there was sexual misconduct. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you see.
But I have a question for you.
Okay.
So in the Cosby situation where women were being invited up to his hotel room at 2:00 in the morning.
Don't ask me that question because you don't want my
No, I want to know. Wait, no, like, and then claiming they didn't know what was going on. I didn't know
want my real answer. I'm gonna just leave that one right there.
And that's where it's like, okay,
I'm gonna sip my tea.
So like at some point, it's like, okay, you didn't know at all that something was like that's where his mind was at.
Well, let's go back to R. Kelly. But we can go back to R. Kelly though.
Yeah.
Those parents, they knew what
exactly
the they were doing.
The parents,
I have feelings about the parents, y'all.
Huh?
I have feelings about the thing with the parents.
You have feelings about the things about the parents?
I do think mixed feelings.
Oh,
I do think
ain't no mixed feelings. Listen.
I do think that most of the parents knew what was going on.
You damn right they knew.
I don't think every parent knew or had control of what was going on. Like for instance, I really debate whether Aaliyah's mom and uncle knew initially. I debate that.
Okay.
I debate that because the culture of music, and when you're interacting with your producer at a young age, her being the very first one, if not the first, one of the first, you're not suspecting.
I got you. But what about the ones that happened?
He's just a normal guy who came along and you're viewing him as, this is like my son. This is like, they're taking him in.
I got you. I understand that. But what about the ones that happened in the 2000s? What about the recent ones?
So That's why I mentioned the recent ones. I said I do believe that most of the parents knew and was getting some bread. I don't believe everyone was.
I look at it this way. If first off, let's go. Let me go back to Aaliyah's parents. You should see. Initially, am I going to say does anybody suspect initial, conversations or business with somebody that they're going to do you dirty at the beginning? No. Any business transaction that you do between anybody, nobody ever, especially when it's somebody that you think that is never going to screw you over. Okay. But then when you start little red flags and stuff start popping up, like my daughter is different. The red flags will start going up in my head, but because this is what she loved to do, and that she's making money off of it, and you throw those little red flags away. The one meme that says, I thought it was a carnival. Like, no,
it's a hard one because, like you said, there's red flags, but so they lived a totally different life. You got her going off with her uncle. Completely normal to go off with your uncle. Okay, your uncle's in music. He set you up with this producer. Okay, and her parents are the manager. Okay, everybody's around at first. Everybody's hanging out at first. Then parents stepped out to make a phone call. She's in there by herself. Then parents stepped out to have a conversation. She's in there a little longer by herself. Nothing's happened. Okay, now parents go out running, make a store run, come right back. She's still in the studio recording. Then he gets to a point where he's like, well, preferably, I'd like us to record just one-on-one so she can feel comfortable. It slowly keeps progressing, and the comfortability slowly keeps increasing. And that
all of a sudden now my daughter's married to you. No, it don't have. I don't see it being something.
But they also, a lot of times,
Alicia,
these parents see them as a paycheck. So
Alicia,
right.
I'm talking about
that's how I'm looking at it. No, parents are taking what they're saying, because I'm pretty sure that there was more than just one sign of it.
What I'm only speaking of the grooming process and how
I get what you're saying,
but slowly the grooming process occurs. So that's what I'm saying when it comes to her parents specifically.
But see, she didn't have a long grooming period with him.
She was with him from age 12, and she didn't get married to him till she was 15. That grooming process, right. Him being a part of the family and him joining in, and he's such a good guy. And then if he was really sleeping with the mom too, that's a whole nother level of
4 years. So that's that whole thing that we seen in remember that Netflix movie that we watched? It's the same thing. He was a predator. The mom said, I seen the red flags, but because I was in my own thing, first off with him, not only that, but like with Aaliyah, I think it also had to do with money. Like people will, like, that's why I feel like all these girls that were showing up to his camp, these parents people want to paint themselves as being stupid and naive. You weren't stupid and naive.
No, majority of them wasn't. And please don't think I'm saying majority of them were. I'm saying
Aaliyah's situation maybe, but the rest of them.
She's one of the first ones. There wasn't no tape before her. But there wasn't no press about him being a pedophile before her. You know what I'm saying?
He was one of the first.
Y'all think R. Kelly peed on Aaliyah?
No, I don't even think he was doing stuff to that extreme nature until after her.
Well, it's because now you see the power and control you can have over a child,
and you got away with it,
and there's money involved. Like, if I could say, just like Aaliyah's parents, I'm pretty sure that they either found out or something happened, and I'm making you a lot of money. If you say or do whatever, all this money goes away.
I don't even believe her parents found out, because I read the Aaliyah book, there was a book called Baby Girl. It was called Aaliyah, aka Baby Girl, that just came out. I literally just finished reading it. I feel like they gained profit after the fact because they got his publishing.
Yeah.
Once they found out, so Aaliyah got, from what in my research and what I'm hearing, she got pregnant. She called him and told him, I'm in trouble. He told her to run away. He gave her specific instructions on how to run away. She ran away and met him. That's when he realized, I can get her an abortion and I can get out of getting in trouble if I lie on these documents and we get married. She did that process by herself with him, along with him.
Yep.
She ran away from home.
I'm still sticking to, I'm still gonna stick to the parents knew. Because as a parent myself, there's not very much that my kid can do that you can sense when there's
but also you're a good parent.
When you're in the music game, because y'all in the studio, you ain't at home. You never home. You go to school. She had a performing arts school. Go to school, go to rehearsal, go to the studio, go to bed. So there are some parents know, and they have the red flags to see. Some parents, I think, might be too busy and caught up in the world they've created.
Yeah, maybe. All right, so keeping us move along, because that's the whole, that we could talk hours about R. Kelly. Let's talk about Will and Jada. Sherelle, this is your thing, yo. What's up with Will and Jada? What's up with dating your level of crazy and all that?
All right, so Jada recently, and I didn't watch the show, but a lot of men have been posting on my timeline about how Jada at her birthday special were saying that she was saying that she wants to learn how to love. And a lot of men on my timeline specifically were like kind of at an uproar with this, because they're like, how to love? You done been with this man for this many years and you don't know how to love? What's your thoughts on this? And they're doing a lot of me.
I got you. All right, so there we are on that one. We're kind of up on our time. We set time so that Alicia can do. She got to do her homework.
Well,
but Alicia, did you want to do a this or that, or you want to do final thoughts? What?
Well, I do have a final thought.
I think we should do the final thought.
Let's do final thoughts. What we got?
Okay, I want to elaborate more on what I said earlier. When I'm talking about the parents of these victims, I am not at all saying the parents should not be held accountable. And I'm not at all saying that none of them knew. Most of them knew. I'm just saying that culture is a little bit different. And so I could see how some of the kids slid under the rug of being a victim in that. Like, for instance, Usher was sent to live with, was sent to live with P. Diddy. And he's holding all kind of secrets about what that life was like. Little Bow Wow was sent to live with Snoop, Death Row. So like when they're in that field and that culture, I just feel like the reins are loosened and some things can fall under the cracks. So I don't feel like every single parent knew what was happening before it to enable to prevent it. So
all right. Cool. All right, Alicia, final thought.
So my final thoughts was, both, the whole R. Kelly thing. Like I'm not disagreeing with you, Sherelle, with the whole parents not knowing, and I understand there's a culture behind it. But like I said, I think a lot of people some people want to play that, I didn't know card, or to make themselves look better. That's why I look at not so much them, but the very beginning especially as a parent myself. Like, I you start to notice different things about your kids. Whenever things are wrong, I'm automatically on alert um with it. So, I'm not saying, and I'm not fully blaming her parents for everything, because you love your kids and you want them to experience and do things, and sometimes you do have to look past like the moral standpoint of it, even with like playing just like a regular sport like basketball or football or whatever. So you have to look past those, those things that some parents are looking like, how dare you keep your kid out, till 11, 12 o'clock at night practicing, but it's because of the love of what they love to do that you kind of look past those little things. So I can understand that with them. But it, and I also am looking at it in a different light, because this is something that, you know, if Aaliyah was still living, could have really messed her life, because hurt people.
Yep.
And then, with the whole Jada and Will thing, I feel that they both have a lot of dirt, that they are kind of, they're both trying to sugarcoat it. Jada tries to say little things to make it sugarcoat and sound good.
And
And
like
Will does the same
situationship.
thing. So right, in their situationship. But and I feel that, you know, Will does the same thing.
Entanglement.
So they decide to handle their things both a little bit different. So I don't knock and I think it's a lot different also because, excuse me, they're in the limelight. So it's different than what we go through in our personal stuff, where it's not so she pisses the wrong way, and it's just like a headline, like, what I mean. So it's just, I feel that it's different in that light, and it almost sounds like she's trying to get ahead of the game by saying it herself, but like you're making
Possibly.
yourself look bad and look stupid. So, but whatever, girl, do you, like, y'all do that. Now I'm gonna stay over here and y'all do that over there. And I'm gonna just, read your article and go, man, that was stupid. Anyways, but yeah,
Yep.
that's basically my last final thoughts of the
All right.
podcast.
Well, my final one is, want to make sure that I make it clear that I don't condone or support the actions of, like, R. Kelly and all stuff. Just discussing horrible things, and it's just, I get frustrated and upset with the connection that the artist or the creator and the creation, and not being able to enjoy the things that I may have previously enjoyed. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on that.
Well, I think this was a great episode back. We're back. 30's perspective.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lando. Maybe we can get him on for the next one. Few technical difficulties, but it's all good.
Yeah, I figured it out.
We have B Mike,
Hey,
Lady Leash Page.
just about to go do some homework. Bust out some homework.
Right. And I'm
That was
Sherelle.
no joke.
Right. And I'm Sherelle Unique, guys. So see y'all later. 30's perspective.
All right.
Out.
See ya.